And when I heard the tears, when I heard the cry, I was like, okay, we're going to be better. Then the doctor said, she's a girl. I stood up to check if he was front. You know, sometimes these doctors be quacks. Our last doctor, she was a quack. Both of them, the high risk and the regular OBGYN, they were both quacks. So when he said she's a girl, my mother-in-law had been gassing me at the fact of, oh, you're going to have a boy. She's carrying lotion. You're going to have a boy. You're going to have a boy. You're going to have a boy. So I already had the name. You already know I had the name down. This is the What's Next podcast, Houston's #1 platform where I invite creators to share their journeys and give us a depiction of their visions. Most importantly, the last question I'll ask is, what's next? Houston, Texas, you already know what time it is. Got my baby girl in hand. Episode 131. New journeys. We're on Patreon. Let's go.
Yo, it feel like Sachi on my body. Biggie, chicken, puffy, all that ballin' is a hobby. And I'm wildin' in my wallies. And them valleys, no Pilates. More way get.
That's really the key. It's not keeping yourself busy. It's like you have to figure out what it is that you really want to do. Like wake up in the morning and say, yo, I'm excited to go do this. What is that? Once you figure that out, everything will be fine.
Houston, Texas. Welcome back to episode 131 of the What's Next podcast, a production of Still Visionary Inc. My name is
John Ross Dyke I, founder of Still Visionary Inc. and creator of the What's Next podcast, dropping every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yo, I'm doing a lot right now. I got baby girl in hand. We're going to introduce her in a few minutes. But welcome back to episode 131 of the What's Next podcast, a production of Still Visionary Inc. That's WHATS, no apostrophe, NEXT, exclamation, question mark. The What's Next podcast, a production of Still Visionary Inc. Welcome back. Welcome back. You all right, mama? Shh. Here we go. Somebody got her shots today. So she's a little all over the place. But it's important for us to be here right now, dealing with this, having to multitask as a parent, right? Come on, I'm in a situation. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. It's been a long time. Here we go, mama. Come on. Take that pacifier. Oh, I got it. It's been a long time. Woo, lungs. It's been a long time, Houston, Texas. Welcome back. It's been a long time. Welcome back. I'm here with my baby girl in hand on a new journey. So the first question is, where have I been? And to answer that question, I've been modeling. I've been producing podcasts. Pardon me. And I have been studying, listening to podcasts, seeing where I basically wanted to take my podcast to. So it's been a journey. While I haven't been podcasting, I've been listening to podcasts, specifically the Joe Budden podcast. I've been producing a podcast, the Energy podcast, and I've been modeling. My man, Clifton Morris III, the creator of Riley and Ryan, has a new t-shirt brand out, right? So before we get into all of that, my name is John Ross Dyke I, and you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at John Ross Dyke and still _visionary. Also, the What's Next pod _ if you would. Connect with me on LinkedIn, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my fan page on Facebook, and visit my website at stillvisionary.com. If you're listening, this is the first podcast on Patreon. The full-length episode will be on Patreon, and you should subscribe to one of my 3 tiers at patreon.com/John Ross Dyke. I want to read this message that my Zen from Zen H.A.R.D and his Energy podcast. Hold on, mama. Let me read this right quick. It ain't gonna work. I got to multitask, Houston, Texas. I got to multitask. She is the most important thing, but I wanted to bring her on the podcast because it's absolutely necessary to do so. So I want to multitask while she's killing this bottle. I want to multitask and I want to read this, right? Zen wrote in here, to the poet, videographer, actor who helped me take Zenergy to the next level. Thank you for your support and assistance. That's where I've been, Houston, Texas. I've been producing podcasts. I've been listening to podcasts. And I've been trying to get my little model on, as well as being a father. So the ability to do what I would love to do, like Kobe said, find out what you love to do and go do that. The ability to do what I love to do, specifically podcasting, to create my passion, because I've invested up front, is like none other. I wouldn't have it any other way. And I'm here today to introduce my lovely, lovely daughter, Harper Avery Ross Dyke. Round of applause for her. So that's where I've been. Take a look at this. Houston, what's going on? Welcome to my Patreon page. You've been asking, JR, what's going on with the podcast? Well, starting March the 15th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, full episodes of the What's Next podcast will be exclusively available on Patreon. You being here means one thing, that you're in support of me, Still Visionary Inc., and the What's Next podcast. So I'd love it if you subscribe to one of my 3 tiers. I do what I do for myself to prove that I can do it for others. See you on Patreon. This has been the greatest year of my life. You know, before my daughter arrived at the top of 2022, I started the year off, year 7. I had a podcast about it, year 7 of it being an educator. Year 7. And at first I felt bamboozled. Because my man brought me down to Algebra 1, but then he dipped. But I didn't know that it was a blessing in disguise, because at the conclusion of the basketball season, I would end up winning a district championship for the freshmen in the class of 2025. So this has been the best year of my life. When I think back to being brought down to Algebra 1 and what it meant symbolically, meaning you get the kids, because for a while I had lost my connection. I lost it. I didn't have kids kind of emulating me. I didn't have kids kind of like looking up to me. I didn't have kids kind of like enamored in what I did. A look that a kid gives you in your eyes when you're talking. I've been here before, I know. It's alluring, and I lost that connection. So now I'm back with the class of 2025. And this year I had intended to specifically get kids that were going to play basketball to also be in my classroom as well, so they can get both sides. They can see me in the classroom. They can see me on the basketball court, because God bless my man, Coach Tennyson. That's $1 in the cup, y'all. My man, Coach Tennyson, said there's no separation between academics and athletics. And when I thought about that, I said, damn, that's profound, because here's the deal. If we can't get you to understand what's important, the reason why you're at school, then when you're doing something that's intangible, you don't have to play sports in high school. You don't have to. That's why I say it's intangible, because it doesn't make or break you making grades. But you have to be in school to play sports. High school sports, that is. UIL regulated sports, that is. So when he said that there's no separation between academics and athletics, I still think about that statement today. And when I was going down Algebra 1, I said to myself, I want to have as many of my kids, whether it be in softball or basketball, I want to have as many as my kids to be in my classroom, so that we can kind of build a rapport, so that they know what to expect. And also, as a coach, I'm coaching you, right? If you fall behind the line, I got you. I want you to be eligible. I got you. And I can always make it up at the end, but I got you. That's one less class you have to worry about being completely eligible for. This year on the freshman team, I coached and taught 5 of those kids out of 12. 6 out of 12 is 50%. 5 out of 12 is around 41%. Pretty damn good odds. 40, not 41, but 41.6 or something like that. 41% of my kids that were on my freshman basketball team were also in the classroom with me. So they got to see me in both lanes. I expect this to be done. And when we get on this court, I expect this to be done. And the fruits of those labors were this: a district championship. So what I want to do is I want to call a few. Here we go, y'all. Aiden Randall.
John Ross Dyke the first.
There's only one reason why I could be calling you on a Monday afternoon during spring break.
The
Huh?
podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta be filming the podcast.
Oh, yeah. I'm on the podcast right now. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I just came back from track practice for the school.
Oh, okay. It's good you're staying active. So the last time we talked, you said that we didn't trust you initially.
Mm-hmm.
At the conclusion of this season, how are you feeling towards the word trust and trusting me and being a district champion?
It feels good because, like I said before, the whole trust level thing. I feel like my trust for you, was early. It wasn't when basketball started, because I had your class, and like I had been in your class for an amount of time, and like I had started to like build a relationship with you. So.
And I think that's key. Before I called you, I called Landon, but I was saying that a while ago, a friend of mine that coached at Waltrip High School said that there is no separation between academics and athletics. So when I started to think about that statement, it made all the sense in the world. And when I knew that I was moving down to teach Algebra 1, I said to myself, well, I need the majority of the basketball team to be in my Algebra 1 class. Algebra 1 being what it is in pursuit of graduation, you have to pass the end of course EOC exam. You have to pass that in Algebra 1 to graduate. I wanted to be there to lead as an example and also be on the basketball court as well. And I think it really worked out because I ended up coaching and teaching 5 of the kids on the basketball team, freshmen that is.
It did. It definitely did, because before I switched over to your class, I was in Ms. Lowenstein's class. And it was okay in there, but when I switched to your class, it was just like it was like a shift. It was like a completely different level of, and like also like a completely different relationship. Like, you're an African American man, African American teacher, and like it was a personal connection. So.
Well, I wanted to call you, tell you congratulations on winning district, and also I want to run this by you. I'm thinking about shooting a documentary on us, the class of 2025.
Okay.
What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be dope.
Okay, so me and Mr. St. Mary are trying to put it together right now to figure out how we will go about doing it. But I think the first step was that I did record all games, and that was something different too. Recording all lower level games this year for us was pivotal, because we'll always have that footage.
We'll have that footage, and like we could watch it like during the season. When we watch footage, it would help us.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, man. Well, I just wanted to call you, see how you were, tell you I was on the podcast. Thank you for talking up on me.
Of course.
All right, man. I'll talk to you next week.
All right.
All right. Houston, I do what I do for myself to prove that I could do it for others. Most importantly, the last question that I ask myself is what's next, and that is trying to find a third party to sit here with me and you. Get it right. I do what I do for myself to prove that I could do it for others. My daughter's here, 9 weeks old this Friday. Peace and blessings. I'll see you soon. Love you.
Yo, it feel like 95. Sachi on my body. Biggie, jigger, puffy, all that ballin' is a hobby. And I'm wildin' in my wallies. Valleys, no Pilates. More weight, get you more wet. Nah, that's these Bumandi. My crystal
John Ross
ball,
Dyke
I
first,
keep
founder of
crystal
Still Visionary Inc. and creator of the What's Next podcast, dropping every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. John Ross Dyke first, founder of Still Visionary Inc. and creator of the What's Next podcast, dropping every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
5 bottles, 1 dick, why I need 2 bras? I know I'm out of line, but love is shower time. You know it rose rain when your cloud is 9. Get off that high ass hussy. This a private party. Been on my dick too long. Your breath on private party. You gon' be nice or naughty. These walls on priceless Audi. This the upper crust. Fuck is up.
John Ross Dyke first, founder of Still Visionary Inc. and creator of the What's Next podcast, dropping every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. John Ross Dyke first, founder of Still Visionary Inc. and creator of the What's Next podcast, dropping every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.